Andy XL back with another NFXL podcast and another piece looking at the 2026 NFL draft. And this is going to be my March update of the running back rankings and how the picture looks in general. So I've given you the quarterback picture and the wide receiver picture before this. Different pictures there. The quarterback is a bit ugly. The wide receiver, yeah, there's plenty of opportunities out there for them. But what about the wide receivers? Well, there's just one guy who I see as a round one candidate, and he's one of the premier talents in this draft class. It's Jeremiah Love, the junior out of Notre Dame. Now he's risen from 7 on my big board to 4, which is as significant as moving from round 4 to round 2. Really, it's a huge jump to move up from just outside the very top of to the very top, pretty much. And that's because Love did nothing to hurt his prospects at the combine. He did much to improve his already vaunted reputation. He is, for me, as I say, one of the elite talents in this draft, regardless of position. And whichever team gets him will have made a superb start to their draft. Looking at the teams in the top 10 of the draft who might look to take him, Tennessee at pick 4 could add him to give them a two-headed beast alongside Tony Pollard and to take over from Pollard as the running back one in all likelihood. Washington at 7, though they have added Rashad White and Jerome Ford as veterans to go with last year's 7th rounder Bill Krosky-Merritt, who performed very well last season. But the question about those three is, are any of them true running back one material? I doubt it. Love is. So Washington would be well worth looking at taking a look at him. Cincinnati have picked 10. Now Chase Brown has done a really good job for them, but Love would, in my opinion, be an upgrade on Brown and probably a pretty good complementary piece to go alongside him, almost Cincinnati's version of Sonic and Knuckles. And that would give them an elite running back duo going forward. Take a lot of the pressure off Joe Burrow as well in the passing game. What an offense they'd have then. Dallas at 12 would surely not be able to pass on Love if he dropped to them. Yeah, they've re-signed Javonte Williams, but again, Williams is a good running back, but not an elite running back. Love is. So again, they would be wise to take a look at him. And listening to Schottenheimer's comments out of Dallas recently that all their free agency moves has allowed them to go into the draft with a free view, not looking for specific positions. Well, if they get into a position where they're going to take the best player off the board, if Love is still there at 12, they have to take him. So those four teams would be my favourites to take Jeremiah Love right now. And it's inconceivable to me that he drops any lower than pick 12. If he did, teams should be biting their hands off to trade up, to take him any later than that. Right, he's the only round one guy. The only round two guy is his Notre Dame teammate from last season, Jadarian Price. He's at 9 on my big board. Now, Price has emerged from the pack behind Love to seemingly be the clear running back two in this class, a position he will be familiar with, having sat behind Love on the Notre Dame depth chart. But he did enough in that role to show what he is capable of, and is the only likely round two running back in this class, as I see it right now. Could land himself a good slot on a running back needy team's depth chart. He may even find his way into round one. So if we look at the teams from pick 25 to 50, you might think the price is right. For them, here they are. San Francisco at pick 27 might consider him as an option to take workload off the overworked Christian McCaffrey and as a long-term succession plan too. Seattle at 32 have a Kenneth Walker-sized hole to fill in their roster. Tennessee at 35 if they didn't take Love in round one. Same with Cincy at 41, read Love. Baltimore at 45 could take Love to back up and eventually succeed Derek Henry. Having them two in the backfield, you just run all day with Lamar Jackson as well. Why do you even need to pass it at all? The Colts at 47 to back up Jonathan Taylor and provide injury insurance too. And Minnesota at 49, where he could even be their running back one next season, makes 7 possible landing spots for Price in this area of the draft. Right, on to round 3. And again, there's just one guy here according to my big board who's in round 3 territory, and that's Mike Washington. I'm just going to double check where he is on my big board right now. 86 is where Mike Washington sits, and so he's the only round 3 guy, and that is likely to be later round 3 than earlier 2. Like I say, he sits at 86, so that's below halfway down round three, which means he's probably running back three in this class, but not certain to be so ahead of a trio of early round four types who will come to. Washington's a real grinder, but with speed too, and he could certainly be capable of competing for a running back role, one role for a team in need at running back. So who are the round four guys that might challenge Washington to be the third running back off the board? Well, they're Catron Allen of Penn State, who's at 111 on my big board. Nebraska's Emmett Johnson is at 114, and Washington's Jonah Coleman at 116. They're all contenders to be the running back four in this draft and maybe even push Washington to be running back three. This trio certainly seem clear of the running back seven candidates right now. Late day two or early day three could be where these three get taken. Right, the mid rounders. So there's probably three more competing after that, the previous group of three. And they're Nick Singleton, another Penn State guy at 143, Wake Forest and Mon Claiborne at 150, and Seth McGowan at Kentucky at 168, being those three. Singleton and McGowan are maybe more solid running back two types in the NFL. Claiborne has some development upside, but is not as tried and tested as Singleton in particular. McGowan has been a real project of coming back from adversity to find his way into the draft potentially in a decent mid-round spot. Then we get another group of three in Le'Veon Moss of Texas A&M at 187 on my big board, Jamari Taylor at 201, and Adam Randall of Clemson at 206 as early to mid sixth rounders. Taylor's stock has been on the slide, whilst Randall is on the rise, and those looking will be looking to take them what is left in terms of decent landing spots that give them a chance to see any decent level of workload in their rookie seasons. After them, Roman Hemby of Indiana at 221, Kalen Black at Indiana at 231, Eli Heidenreich Navy at 240, and Robert Henry of UTSA at 247, and the only others in the top 250 on my big board. As such, looking for late round six or even round seven picks. Henry could yet emerge from this group as he may be the one most worth taking a late round punt on with upside to be any more than a solid running back two stroke three at the next level. You know, we have seen some people come out in the late rounds and do well. I mentioned Krosky Merritt earlier. You've got Isaiah Pacheco. There have been others running backs that have been taken late that have done well for teams. But that's how I see the running back picture right now. So tomorrow I'll come back with a tight end update and also another piece. I've just got to remind myself what I did. Oh yeah, the teams that have nailed round one in this decade. So there's 6 or 7 teams that have done really well in round one. I'll tell you who they are in a piece tomorrow as I continue my build up to the 2026 NFL draft. See you soon.